Come on in,
Come
get in the
on
booth.
in.
Come on in, y'all.
Come on in. Come on in.
Make sure you give us some kisses.
Let me
Show us some
share.
love.
Like and share. Make sure you like, share, comment, even tag people in the comments that you want to see the show tonight.
Yes.
Exactly.
And you know what? I think we need to give some incentives starting the next show for people who come in and give the most kisses, interact the most. We're gonna start giving some prizes out.
Exactly. Especially we only got this is I think there's two more episodes left of this year, of this first
Hmm.
season of the Kiss and Move before we start next year. So yeah. So we got
Yeah,
some
and
stuff
we're
planned.
looking for some show ideas. Anybody who, give us some show ideas, give us some kisses, invite, like, follow, subscribe on YouTube. We're gonna have something coming your way. So I see Ashanti Anderson up in the she done gave some kisses. We need
Exactly.
her to share, tag people in the comments, get some folk
Yeah.
up in here, and we're gonna have something for those who participate. How about that?
Yeah.
Yes. There we go. Hello, family. You all right? So, if you have missed the last episode with Natalie Epps, I'm a survivor. She talked about her surviving breast cancer for some years now. She's been I think 8 years now. She's been a breast cancer
Yes.
survivor, and
Mhm.
she was very transparent and real. So go back
Yes.
watch that if you never heard about someone going through that journey and just wondered how it goes. Definitely go
Mhm.
and rewatch that on YouTube at Power 52 Official, or you can come
Yes.
here on come on Facebook as well, and scroll through the videos and post and find that too.
Yeah,
So
because if you are going through something right now and you need some inspiration, you need to tag her, check her out. I'm sure she would. I mean, she just gave it all. She walked
mhm.
us through the process. She let us know how she was feeling and the challenges she had. Like, definitely, you want to
Yeah.
check that episode out.
Yes. So let's get into a little hot topic. So Maryland is just, on a high this tonight, yesterday
No,
night,
no pun
the other
intended.
night. Yeah, no
Oh
pun
wow.
intended. No pun intended. That's we gonna mention that too. I forgot to put that on here. But
Oh, you can
Westmore,
talk. I was gonna say you can talk about that first, baby.
yes. So Westmore, talking about election night. Westmore made history in the state of Maryland. He will become the first African American governor of Maryland.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Yes, that is awesome.
yes, awesome.
Awesome.
So Moore defeated Republican gubernatorial candidate Dan Cox by nearly 350,000 votes.
Ooh.
Um, and this is not just a historic win for Westmore, but also for his running mate, the Lieutenant Governor elect. Forgive me if I mispronounce this. Aruna Miller. She was born in India and is now the first woman of color and first immigrant elected to a statewide office in Maryland. So
Yes,
that's two
Aruna.
wins right
Yes.
there. But
Mhm.
to even add a little bit more sauce to it, Westmore will become the only third black governor in the United States history. So I didn't know that. So
Yes, that's
that is
fire.
awesome.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm super duper excited to have Mr. Moore in office for a couple reasons. So, under Biden's administration, we have Justice 40, we have the new Inflation Reduction Act. Well, he has a huge, part of his platform that he ran on was workforce development, renewable energy. And then he comes from the nonprofit sector. So he
Mhm,
understands our plight. So I can't wait to
mhm,
be introduced to Mr. Moore for him to learn and know what Power 52 is doing in the community so that we can bring more jobs and more
mhm.
opportunities to the state of Maryland. So I'm
Yeah.
super excited. Hopefully we can collab on some ideas. Maybe he's watching. I don't know if somebody share this to him.
Definitely. Also on election night, I don't have this written on my notes, but Maryland legalized marijuana use.
Okay.
So we about to be like the most of the other countries, smelling like weed everywhere.
We about to be lit for real.
Exactly. But I also would love to know what that means for people who have been incarcerated because of that. Now that it's legalized, what is that going to look like? The people might be serving time for that, or what people's records, could they get that expunged and things like that. So I definitely love to see what comes after this
Yeah,
passage.
me too. I mean, it definitely removes a barrier to, our African American and marginalized population. So, that coupled with, things that the new governor is going to have in play, I can't wait to see, where we're going. Hopefully, all
Yeah.
the way up. No smoke.
Look, so
Right.
Twitter, Twitter is in some not trouble, but an interesting time for Twitter. So since Elon Musk has acquired Twitter, there has been a lot of changes to that company. So I believe it was the wee hours of this morning. I believe it like 2:30 this morning. He sent his first email to employees since taking over the company, telling them that they can no longer work remotely, and they have to put in 40 hours a week in the office. And
Okay.
you cannot work remote unless you get permission from him
From
to work
him now.
from him to work remote or somewhere else outside of the office.
Okay,
Um,
not the manager.
Not the manager. You got to go to the CEO
That's even funnier. I didn't even
to,
think
to
about
get work remote permission. So
Okay.
I saw this, and I saw this, and I was appalled. What season two we're gonna be able to do some more things, and we're gonna put some videos up and stuff like that. But a TikTok user who worked with Twitter for 5 years said that Musk had one of his HR reps send him an email firing him because they he said he was firing about half the company. So he's fired. He's been going through firing them. So he was like, I didn't get a call, a meeting. He said they sent me saying that I was fired through email, but it wasn't like, dear so and so, we regret to inform you. They put a meme. Elon Musk had his people put a meme up there of him, laughing, and
Hmm.
and basically the meme was saying, you
You're
know,
fired.
you're fired. It said, whatever on top, and it said you're fired.
Well,
And
I can't wait to see what lawsuits come out of this because some
yeah,
people are.
Yeah.
yeah, and so definitely, and I think Twitter. I think has some trouble coming because since he's been head of Twitter, a lot of people are in uproar because you can now pay $8 a month to verify your account. So you can get the check in next to your name if you pay $8 a month. So a lot of the spam accounts and spam users are faking like they're celebrities and politicians and companies and putting stuff out there, and
That's
people are believing it because they got the verification. And whole time it's not them. So a lot of celebrities and companies are just
so
putting
now it's not special. You could just go
yeah,
pay your way. Yeah.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
bringing a lot of confusion. A lot of people are saying they might drop Twitter and stop using Twitter. I don't know. Do y'all think Twitter is going to last after all these changes?
I think that's a little suspect, but maybe it's, he didn't want the company. So maybe
Hmm.
he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go and do some crazy, I don't know, ridiculous stuff out here and see what happens. The correct craziest things happen.
Yeah.
Have to wait
Well,
and see. What
yeah,
you think
and
Hmm.
about?
people want to stay in the know. So I don't think nothing's gonna happen. Like people are still gonna want to know and be a part of it. So and he knows it. So the more drama I can
Yeah,
control, people are gonna
Hmm.
attach to it. So
Yeah.
he
true. That's a good point.
ooh,
Hmm. Yeah. So y'all, you thought over 100 and some odd years ago that this issue was put to
Gone.
rest,
Mm.
but it isn't. Slavery is still legal in Louisiana. Yes,
Yeah,
slavery is still legal in Louisiana.
they
So
try.
on election night, well, it was 5 states. had the election to clearly abolish slavery from their constitution. So, four states, Alabama, Oregon, Tennessee, and Vermont, all voted to remove exemptions allowing slavery or involuntary servitude from their state constitutions in an effort to ban slavery entirely. So basically, they're saying if you commit a crime, that you can, as a punishment, be, go to jail and be an involuntary servant. So you
Servitude.
will work and not get paid. And if you refuse to work, that punishment can happen to you because you're refusing to work and it's a part of your sentence. So many of those four states, they abolished that part, saying you can't do that anymore. Um, um, and so Louisiana voted against amending this in their constitution, basically saying we going them prisoners are gonna work whether they like it or not. So and so a lot of people are up in an uproar because it's like when you look at who is in jail and who you're getting to work and things like that, it's coming a major issue because but this part is not specifically directed toward any particular race or group of people, but it's just real murky situation.
Yes, yes, a
Um,
little murk, a little sus.
so yeah, so people are really up in arms with
Yeah,
it.
because I think didn't they just pass something, the no lynch bill? Like,
I see. I don't know. Probably it
yeah,
sounds like it.
yeah.
Like the South is really behind in some things, and they're thinking, and I don't know.
And people
Hope
just it just sits out there and nobody thinks to let's change this because it's not happening now. But
or
hey,
not as prevalent, or they're not
yeah,
aware of the things
mhm,
happening. I don't know. We hopefully they can. At the next time that this comes up, they'll vote to change. I think it was the reason why it passed. It was almost like with these bills, one word can shift everything and make the meaning different than what it is. And I think it was one of
mhm,
those situations where it's like one word could mess everything up. So I think
right,
hopefully once they go back and revise that, that can be, corrected and all that.
right.
Hey PJ, I'm gonna say this. We're gonna have to like make sure we're more careful with our order because I was listening to the slavery, but Ashanti put in the comments about being little Kim, and I nearly almost lost it when you were talking about slavery.
I did not even see that.
She said,
Because I felt like I was laughing at slavery and I was laughing at little Kim on Twitter. And so
Look, that is look. You about to go? We can go. Everybody can go on Twitter and be anybody now.
right.
all
Look,
right, back to the hot topics. I'm sorry.
look.
But
um,
look, I can't wait to talk about this one because
yeah.
maybe it should have been me.
Exactly. So somebody from California, I need to contact my California cousins and see if anybody won the
Mhm.
Powerball, the $2.404 billion jackpot,
With the B,
Powerball jackpot. I need to make some
one
calls.
person.
One person,
What what we
one
doing here?
person won, and so the cash. This is the highest Powerball jackpot in history, and it is a cash option of $997.6 million. So y'all, if y'all was to win the doggone lottery, what would y'all have done with all that money?
Mm.
Tithe, definitely.
Yeah,
And then paid off the bills and went on a trip around the world.
Are we going to
yeah,
Europe? We going to Europe? You paying for the trip, right?
Yes, yes, it's paid for. First class,
exactly.
everything.
Look, yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
I am here for it. What about you,
yeah.
Jay? What you think you would have done?
Definitely tithe, pay these student loans off.
Amen.
um, and yeah, I will be traveling places, and at least for a year,
Yes.
seeing the world, and then come back because once they figure out where PJ been, it's gonna get around that I got something. Then
Wait a minute.
everybody's gonna be trying to hit your phone up. Hey, bro, hey, doc, because
Oh, well,
you know, you know.
exactly. No, you didn't know me
Everybody gonna be trying to be your
yesterday.
friend then.
Exactly.
Well, hold
Yeah.
up,
At least
PJ.
one person. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, PJ, you still got to come to work. You can't be traveling for your community outreach
I would
coordinator.
say Look, I would give a good donation to Power 50
Oh, oh,
and
that's
say, y'all,
so
I'm going on my. I'll be back in a year.
Listen, people talk about a gap year from college, a gap year. I need a gap year from work. Yeah, I know
Exactly.
you got this, girl.
Exactly. um. So since we're talking about relationships tonight, y'all, let's talk about this relationship. Cher is in the headlines for something that many people would not expect for Cher to be in the headlines for.
And y'all know Cher, like Sonny and Cher,
Yeah,
guys. If
Sonny and
y'all
Cher. I got you, babe, Cher.
know.
She is 76-year old and she is dating 36-year-old. I said she is 76 and he is, and her boyfriend is 36-year-old music executive Alexander A.E. Edwards. So A.E. is most notably known for his relationship with Amber Rose, Kanye's ex-girlfriend, and shares a child with her. So, yo, could you deal with somebody
First
in
of
a
all,
40-year age gap? So it's like,
first of
look, could
all,
you mess with somebody who's 60?
Hold
check
up,
this out.
Sheree. Listen, if we pulling people at 70 that's 30, we still got it. So
I know that's right, baby. That part. That
listen.
where the golden girls? Where the gorgeous girls that they in the chat? My
Exactly. I'm with Ashanti throwing up. That is worms and dust.
What?
first of all, but not only that, like what are y'all talking about?
Exactly. Because what do y'all got in common at this
And that,
age?
yeah, and just the perspectives of boomers, the Gen X to millennials to first of all
Yeah,
that.
that
Yeah,
is that is
nobody looks at stuff the same way.
yeah. Because she is 70, so she might not even be a boomer. She might be silent generation.
Oh yeah.
She
Oh
might be in that tail end of silent generation,
yeah.
and doggone a millennial.
She's a
That is
super.
that's about four generations.
I don't know how they doing that. They just ain't talking about nothing. It's all about the music.
Yeah, they
Mm.
probably making some good music.
Interesting.
Shanti said she has money. Well,
Well,
he
he
said
got a little
he got
change
money
too.
too.
He
He got a little
works with
change.
I believe he works with Sony as a music executive at Sony. So
Mhm.
so he got a couple of dollars. So I don't
Okay.
know. I need them to do an interview. I need
Guess
Oprah or
what?
Diane Sawyer to sit them down.
That's our first question for George tonight.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
y'all, we're about to wrap this up. But we can't wrap it up without telling you about our pull up and pickup. So instead of me talking, well, let's show them a little something.
Yes, yes, and yes. Our annual pull up and pick up resource distribution event, holiday theme. And guess what? Volunteers are needed. So
Yeah.
please, how do they reach you, PJ?
Yes, if you want to volunteer, you can call the office and ask for me at 410-777-9677, or you can email me at pj, like my name says at the bottom of this, pj at power52.org, power52.org. And then, I'll help you out that way. But volunteers, we really need you. I know high schoolers that are need volunteer hours, tell them to sign up. Um,
Fraternities, people online, they need
yep,
volunteer hours. Great
Yeah. So
chapter.
spread
I'm
the
saying.
word. Spread the word. All
All
right.
right, let's get this party started, Lo.
All right.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And it looks like I'm back to reading, right? Okay, all right. And so here we go. G. Anthony is an author, entrepreneur, minister, certified life coach, motivational speaker, and podcaster. He has overcome several obstacles during his lifetime. He has a unique way of using humor, transparency, and compassion to connect with everyone he interacts with. He believes failing at something does not automatically make you a failure. Failure occurs when we fail to learn anything from that experience. When a Man Loves a Woman, which is his book, which we will talk about, is intriguing, thought provoking, and challenging. The author, in an easily comprehensible fashion, guides the reader through difficulties of relationships. His unique ability to use practical illustrations about his relationship choices compared to Jacob's. There's something to be had by everyone, single, married, male, or female. So, without further ado, let's bring him on into the booth.
Good good
Okay.
evening, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How are
Hello.
you?
Hello.
Hey,
Hello, good
before we get
evening.
into the book, I just want to throw this in. PJ, when you started by saying hi, I think you should have led him with the legalization of marijuana first instead of.
Uh-huh.
That's my
Yeah.
personal vote. If you were taking votes or a survey, that would.
Yeah. Yeah. We could let in with that.
I thought he was going to take it off.
Yeah. I forgot. I forgot all about it until we was talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. um, so tell us, you have your book When a Man Loves a Woman, and what is it? When a Man Loved a Woman, how you got it all wrong. But before all that, before you got your revelation and all that, to have your book, tell us a little bit about yourself, like what inspired you to write the book, and
What
just
inspired? Well, it started from I'm a minister, preached in 2009. Um, I remember the sermon that day. It was interesting the different reactions from the women versus the men. I just kind of skimmed the surface, and at the end of the service, I had some people who wanted to throw, and I had some people say, "Hey, I enjoyed your sermon," and they said, I think that would make a good, 12 years later, some ups and downs, some twists and turns, questionable choices in life. We finally had a product that we have now. I think even I don't know, 10 years ago, it wouldn't be the same book it is today.
mm, mm.
And so give us a brief synopsis of the book. Like, When a Man Loves a Woman. What is it all about? I know you did the
Uh,
sermon, but
okay,
give us a little peek inside the door
it
of
it,
this
it
book.
came. It's a story I've always been attracted to. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I believe a story that's ever been written about is a biblical story about Jacob and Rachel. Just how that relationship came about. I just picked up did, and these are examples that I think especially for women, that these are the character look for, and I think they were some characteristics that as a man, as a husband, that you should. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't get it all right. The book how I got it all wrong. And but I think that if it happened to me, that there are 2 or 3 other people who have similar type experiences, which are book. I wanted it would be something. I didn't want my daughter into a radio show about does my man love me, and I'm not, So this was a written way of saying some of the things I may not have modeled personally in life.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you say you didn't get so okay, so you were once married and then divorced.
You off by a couple, but I've been married and divorced a couple times. I know. I saw
Hold on. If I'm off by a couple, is that 3? Hold on.
Who? No, I've been multiple times. Can I just leave it at 3 times?
Okay.
Father,
So
Son,
you
and the Holy Ghost, right? Father, the Trinity.
the Trinity. We're gonna call them the Trinity. So okay. So let me ask this. So you said you didn't get it right. So was it that you were learning things along the way, and each time you weren't implementing what you learned? Tell us about that. What was happening there?
No, I would say this. I tell people to trust your gut. One thing is that if your gut, your intuition, your spidey senses, if it's not, so a lot of times we will ignore certain things. So in the first chapter, I talk about some of the lessons that I've learned. I would encourage you, if you're looking for a relationship, before you enter into a relationship, I strongly the relationship you have with yourself. Oftentimes, where people look to others to hurt areas of void, areas of lacking, and believing that fix all these things in my life and we'll live happily ever after.
Okay, wait a minute. Can we pause just for 1 second? I think your audio is. Did you make a change? People are saying in the comments that you're breaking up. Did you change anything?
No, I haven't changed. No.
Okay.
It may be my connection.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's see. Is that? Try to say something else. Let's see if that's better.
Testing.
I think
We're just gonna try. Yeah,
we're just gonna try to roll with it. Our apologies to the viewers.
I'll speak.
So anyway, so you said trust your spidey senses. Trust your gut feeling about whether to move forward.
I believe. I'm not saying this is a one size fit all, but I believe that sometimes when relationships fail, we're not surprised. With things that overlook, to excuse, to just to ignore things can come back to haunt you when it comes to some relationship choices.
Mm-hmm. And so let me ask you this question, and then I'll let PJ, because I know he's dying to ask you something, but I just want to know. So with this, were you like dating? So for me, I was married. I dated, for 6 months, and then we started playing the wedding. So, what was your situation? Were you just dating for, a couple months and then planning the wedding? Or were you dating, your wives for a year or two, but maybe it's a curse? I don't know. Now, once you get back, because some people say that. I know some people that one of our family friends, she was, dating a gentleman for say 15 years, and then they got married, and then stuff went down the hill. Some people believe that. So what was your situations like?
Well, each of them were different, but I'll tell you what's in the book. In the book, I talk about having a 4 seasons that you need to see a person in all 4 seasons. I mean, winter, spring, summer, and fall. Sometimes they're not the same person in the wintertime as they were in the summertime. but not only a chronological year. I think you need to examine persons in the different seasons. So sometimes we have a season of abundance. Money, everything's plentiful, but they may have seasons of conflict. You may have seasons of, you suffrage or dis. How do they handle those things? Like, how do they handle conflict? Do you not speak to one another? You have a difference of opinion of what color a car was. Was it blue or green? And then you find speaking, sleep, and not talking. So those things are important. I think it's different for everyone. I think, I don't think it takes 15 years to decide. Sometimes people don't want to give a person a title because sometimes when there's accountability that sometimes comes along with a title that some people prefer to avoid.
So I have unless PJ wants to go.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, and I know sometimes like your mental can play a part, right? The more unsuccessful you have. So, how was your mental during all this process, and how did you implement it into the characters for the book?
My mental, well, like I said, again, you read it in the bio. I believe that failing make you a failure. Failure occurs when you fail to learn anything from it. I think I've grown from it. It's put me in a position of peace. I like me. I love me. I'm not, those things happen. You can justify. They weren't bad people. Maybe they were bad choices. Sometimes we try to fit, and sometimes we try to put a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah. So here's one question. So I know how sometimes relationships can a good part of relationships that can be like what you've seen displayed and all things like that. So it's like so growing up, did you have like a good solid understanding of what a relationship or a marriage should look like, or like I don't know how old you were when your first marriage was. So were you like young and you just got into it and really unsure? So what was that like?
No, my parents were married their entire lives. Again, different relationships come with different dynamics. Again, a lot of times people spend. So, for example, people spend time and energy in planning a wedding than they do in planning how. Sometimes the details that fight over colors and songs and who's going to stay, and then they get married. And I think sometimes with me, I guess a lack of understanding of what really made marriage. People think it's not my responsibility to make anybody happy, nor is it their responsibility. Now, you hear people divorce or they split up because that person doesn't make them happy. There is that it was never their responsibility in the first place. You need the happier, the more happy and satisfied I could be with somebody else, because people can only do temporarily to enhance your happiness. And honestly, I put in the book, happiness in a constant state of euphoria. Nobody's happy all the time. You know what I'm saying? We learn to be content and we can be satisfied, but you don't want incredible highs and lows. You find it's like a seesaw. You up or down.
Yeah.
So,
So
look, I can say this. Someone was. I gotta say this real quick, PJ. And so all three of them complaining about you leaving the toilet seat up.
No, I got the toilet. No, I got the toilet seat. I got to carry. No, I got the together. It's just different people have different love languages,
Mhm.
again, and not to say anything bad about anybody, to look within, again, the choices that you make, the people that you choose, the choices you make while dating, while during that courtship period, all that, the success or failure of a relationship. And, often a lot of times um, I talk about in the book that, like, for example, women that was he placed value on Rachel, and I encourage women in the book that you need I yourself, and I give this example of how one lady I wanted to date, I wanted to say, okay, I'll go out with you. However, here's what you must do. When you come pick me up, and when we get to our destination, I need you to get out and come open my door for me to get out. Pause for a second, like, I don't even know if I like you like that, but this was her requirement. A polite way, she's letting me know, hey, I have standards. You just can't approach me form of fashion. So I think that was
That's
one
right.
of the things we needed um, to deal with. I must have been trouble. What's wrong?
I said, I know that's right.
Mm.
Standards.
So,
Standards.
so, so when you're in, say if the person's courting, just to give our some viewers something to look about or think about. So if you're in the Four Seasons and I'm looking, at this person to see what I like and don't like, or whatever the case is. What are some, from your experiences, from when you counsel people, what are some like red flags that you be like, if you see certain things like this, watch out, watch.
Oh, we're relationships. There could be many. Again, young lady, and you're dating a guy, but he never uh, takes you to his family or introduce you to his family that you've been dating for a long time. I believe that the way people handle conflict, some people, um, constant tension and you constantly bickering and there's a constant battle. Um, um, I talk about any form of abuse. I think is a red flag. Physical, psychological, mental. You should treasure that. If you love a person, build them up and not tear them down. So, and you got to know what to say in the book. And I encourage anybody, um, write down 10 things. 10. Now, for most of us, we can probably knock out the first three without even thinking. That these are things that I value, things that I treasure. So a lot of times, we like a trip to the mall. We've all been to the mall. I'm sure you probably seen a pair of shoes, or you go over, you pick them up. Oh, you love them. They look good. But would you have that shoe over and look at the cost? And sometimes, willing to pay the cost associated with having that shoe. And I think that sometimes, you just you can't let people treat you in any kind of way. They can't refer to you any kind of way. She told the guy, if you can't afford me, to put me back on the shelf. Meaning that if you could not afford of God that I claim that I am, then don't waste my time. Waste time. We waste time in relationships.
And then also those good shoes will hurt sometimes, most times.
I'll leave
and
that
they
one
have
alone.
the hefty price tag. So
Yeah, yeah.
So what would you suggest? Because I know in your book you talk, and you kind of mentioned it, planning, for marriage. So what would you suggest to someone who might be planning or getting ready to get married, and they're watching this and they say, well, how do I plan for our marriage? Is it like my expectations from my partner, or is it goals that both of us want to achieve, or goals that, communication goals?
So what I talk one about is called Seven, where Jacob said that he would work for her for 7 years to have her. Y'all run a charade. I'm sure you do interviews. You've been in interviews that we've interviewed for. At some point, they ask you, "Where do you see yourself in X number?" And I encourage people, as a couple, as an individual, where do you see 7 years? So if you say, "I want to be married, I want to buy a house, I want to do this," and you involved with a person who wants the exact opposite issue, I think that as a couple, you should, again, marriage plan out the next, because not to get too preachy, but they said, write the vision and make it plain. Make it plain part to me means you sit and you plan out the steps. Sometimes people, children, then somebody gets married and one partner wants to have, only wants to have one or none. That becomes an issue. Travel, there shouldn't be in a marriage. Y'all can't be moving in opposite directions.
Mm-hmm.
I see that Alex in the comments said also some people get into a marriage with an exit plan. Hmm. Okay.
I think sometimes, and that's funny. That's my best friend. We talk about with this what I like to call a fire escape mentality. The exits. Okay, we're at this level. Let me find out where the exit is. Because sometimes people are just looking for an excuse to leave. Like a guy divorcing you because you burnt the collard greens. I think he was already just looking for it. And people do, mark the exits. I'm not saying you don't know where they are, but you shouldn't be marking them on every.
So let me ask this: what do you feel is a good reason to leave? To say, I'm out.
Ooh, I don't. I'm out.
In the office.
Don't know.
Wait,
No,
let
I
me
don't know.
let me tell you this. In the office, earlier, I said, I'm gonna ask him, what do you feel the biggest three things are for people getting out of a marriage? I said, when I say sex, lies, and violence.
Yes.
Yeah.
um, again, if adultery, some people I've known relationships fail because of adultery, but I've also known ones that have successfully overcome that. I put in a book. I don't believe in any type. I think that anybody should have to stay in a situation where your life, your health, your safety is. But I think so. I say this. I think that if you got two loving people, it's anything, but it only takes one person to destroy it.
Right. And that's the Alex saying one thing you must do is go through marriage counseling and take it seriously. Put as much emphasis on the marriage counseling as you put on planning the wedding. But here's the thing, even with planning the
Uh,
wedding, usually the woman puts more emphasis in the planning of the wedding than the man. Not to shade men, but I'm just saying 9 times out of 10, it's hard to, get both parties, to even want to do counseling, you know, um, and properly do it, because you can't properly do counseling if the person is still cheating and got a girlfriend on the side. Like, that's just not
yeah, yeah. Can I put?
He
Can I
said, well, that should
put
be a
no comment?
woman's.
I'm gonna put no comment to that one. That was no.
Yeah, but I think that's definitely a good point to think about and even evaluate. Because, like, okay, if I can't get her or I can't get him to even take the counseling part serious to make sure your foundation is good. It's like, okay, then what's going on here? Because it's like, what are we doing like going forward into the marriage, into the relationship? If you can't even give the attention for a few months or however long it is to, make sure that stuff is right. I don't
Yeah, your
know.
undivided attention. Some
Yeah.
people
Yeah, I mean,
mm,
that could be a red flag. Again, I think that you have to know who you are. The more content, the more complete you are as an individual. I believe the healthier with someone else. I like to use this as one of my illustrations. The movie Jerry Maguire, and in Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise co-star and says, "You complete me." And everybody in the movie out. Um, I think that sounds good, but that's not a sound doctrine. For somebody to complete you, I think that's a recipe for failure. One, you shouldn't want anybody to do that, and I think anybody to try to take on that role, can anyone always anticipate, um, meet everybody's needs, expectations 24 hours a day? So, um, no, I don't think you should look for
well,
anybody.
Well, I think maybe someone's saying, if they say, well, a marriage, I come with, it's people think 50-50, but that's really not the case. Sometimes I'm going to give 70 and they going to give 30. Sometimes I'm going to give 20 and they going to give 80. So perhaps them saying you complete me is that, when I'm at my 20, then you're bringing an 80. Hopefully, so that's just another perspective. So Della says, my first marriage was exactly that. The emphasis was on the wedding planning. Second time around, much wiser, and we both decided the counseling was a priority. Yes. So maybe second time around.
Oh.
Anyway. Alex says it is better to be single wishing that you were married than being married wishing you were single. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's something in the Bible that says, it's better to be single.
Hmm.
Be single, not unless you want to, get it in.
I need
Um,
that Bible verse, PJ.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I
it
think that's
does.
Paul wrote that. I forgot who
Yeah.
he was talking to, which church he was
but
writing that to.
I think it.
Mhm.
I think it also says it's better. But um, what I want to say is that instead of finding somebody to try to, why not find somebody who compliments you, that y'all complement one another? And when you got two people who are working together, pulling together, nobody's keeping score on 80 day and you're only
Right.
20, and tomorrow was 65, 35. You just get it working to one common goal. I would say I'll tell this one story I did learn from being married. Um, One day we want to go to the mall, and I passenger seat, and I'm gonna let her drive. And as we leave out our housing development, she's gonna make a left. We've only been in the car for 30 seconds, and I asked that stupid question. She's going to,
Right.
I'm going to the mall, you know. But I'm like, but I go this way, and I went the way I went. But she chose to go her way, and I'm hot. I'm mad. It's faster. It's less traffic. It's less lights. Here's what I discovered. First of all, there's more than one way to get to the mall. Now, maybe didn't go in the door out of interest that I would to the mall. The goal was accomplished. What I probably won't admit is that her way was actually.
So look, let me ask this, and people might ask you this question, but are you married now? Just for the viewers.
No, here's my current testimony as of
Okay.
the way I feel today. As of 8:50 on November November the 10th, I have no more vowels. A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y.
No more vows.
No more vowels.
Okay. So no more vows. But let me ask this. So someone, thinking about buying your book, because we want all our viewers to buy your book,
Mhm.
obviously. But they may say, well, why should we get, relationship advice from you? Because you just, you have the full trinity. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
you say you have no more vows. So, what would you say to them?
Oh, but no, the no more vowels. I'm, as of right now, no, I'm doing that again. Uh, the reason for the book is that I think there's something there for everyone, so that you don't repeat some of the same mistakes that I've made. I put in the book, disqualified me from writing a book, probably, which is what made it take 12 years. It disqualified me. I can speak from experience. Here are the things that I did. Here's to look for. And sometimes, like now, especially within the minority community, there's of successful relationship. Everybody. Some people just happy baby's daddy.
Mm.
I write in the book how many children do you have to have you as something else as his baby's mama. And so I think there's something in a relationship, whether you in a relationship for a while, whether you're married, same thing. There's something in there for everybody.
hmm So Tiffany says, if you come from a family that has your best interests at heart, they play an important role in your courting. They see things you don't, and premarital supports the things you don't think about with resolutions. So that's true because my mama always say, "Look, I'm seeing the stuff you not seeing."
Mhm. Yeah. And Denise Jordan said, "This is a question for you. Do you think your spouse should be your best friend?"
Oh, sure, everybody desires their spouse friend, but I think that you know, um, can you have other best friends? That's my best friend. I think I I think in life uh, that be partners. And so, for example, let's say me and my best friend are having some issues. I got a friend of mine that hey, here's a challenge I'm having, and they're going to use it many times. Hey, you're not handling that the right way. Maybe you shouldn't have done it that way, or maybe the right. But yeah, I think that everybody's looking for their best friend to be married to.
So look, I have one more question. So if you saying that you don't have no more vows, you done throwing them out the door, you done told who's that on Wheel of Fortune? Which one is it?
Oh,
Van or White? You
if
done
I was a
told
Wheel of
Van or you
Fortune, I
done
wouldn't
gave
buy
up all the
a
vows.
vow.
But
I
listen,
wouldn't buy
okay.
a vow.
But listen, but I know you're probably dating. Does it turn a woman off when you tell them we ain't walking down that aisle?
Well, okay. That's more. That's some humor to it. I won't say never. I won't say never. I won't say. Um, I think that like I said, I have a 4-season rule. For me to increase that to 8 or 12 or 20 seasons. Yeah,
Not
hey,
20.
maybe that model doesn't work exactly the way. How's that?
Oh my
All right. All
God.
right.
Oh my
So
goodness.
y'all,
We're gonna end it on that note.
we want to thank George Saunders for that. Y'all, I'm done. 20 seasons.
Yeah, 20
Yeah.
seasons. Wait a minute. They say it's seasons in life.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
Uncle
seasons.
Alex said,
Look. I'm just having some fun with the subject.
That's
You'll
good.
know. I tell you, know what you're looking for, know what you want in a mate, and you
Okay.
may
So
get
George,
7 out of 10. Oh,
George,
I feel like
tell
I'm
us.
on one of those judge shows. Like, what's that like?
Listen, tell the viewers the name of your book, where they can find it, where they can buy it, so they can get it today.
The name of the book is "When a Man Loves a Woman: How I Got It All Wrong." You can get it from Amazon. Go there, purchase it there. They'll mail it to you within a couple. My name, my pen name is G. Anthony Saunders. So there was another George Saunders. He had a different complexion than me, and I didn't want y'all to be confused. So I chose it. But hey,
Can
buy the
somebody
book.
drop that in the chat? Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
He is the best.
All right.
Well, BJ, he deserves to be in the hot seat for those.
Yes.
Exactly.
man.
Before you go, we got a couple of hot seat questions for you.
Oh my God.
It's real this or that questions. All right. Peter or Paul?
From the Bible?
Uh-huh.
Oh, like this a right Twix, left Twix type
Uh-huh.
of.
Yeah.
You got to pick one.
Peter or Paul?
I'm gonna pick Paul. I said Paul.
Okay.
Okay. Half and half or Pepsi? Hold on, say that again.
Pepsi. I can drink
Pepsi.
Pepsis all day.
Okay. Baptist or AME?
Oh, Baptist.
A hymn, like hymnals, or CCM music?
Oh, I gotta go. CCM. What is CCM? You know I'm old.
Like
I'm not.
Christian contemporary music. Like you gonna go CCM?
Dang, I'm gonna go
Kirk
with CCM.
Franklin.
Okay.
Yeah.
A bow tie or a regular necktie?
A regular necktie.
A blizzard or a hurricane?
You know why we asked that.
I'm gonna pick the hurricane.
He
Okay.
done flew south, y'all.
Okay. This is
Yeah,
for
I don't think there's ever been a blizzard to hit Florida. So I'm gonna go with the Hurricanes.
this is a Baltimore reference. Over east or over west?
Oh, West Side.
Okay.
That's right.
West Side.
West Side.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
Ooh.
Prince. Okay.
All right.
Would you rather meet somebody through a friend or meet somebody through an app?
Oh, we're gonna go with the
Tender.
friend. Go with the friend.
What's
I'll tell you in the green room why I go. We'll go. Yeah, go with the friend.
okay? All right. What What's the best gift to give somebody? Flowers or a candle?
That sounds sadistic. I'm gonna go with the flowers. I'm gonna go with the flowers.
Okay. SUV or sports car? What'd you say?
SUV.
SUV? Okay. Destination wedding or a courthouse wedding?
Can we abstain? Let's go with the destination.
Okay. Last one. Would you rather have a big gift or go on vacation?
Vacation.
Vacation. All right.
That's what I said. Give me the vacay,
Hold
baby.
up. That is not what you said.
I said, be quiet, love. She made me say the vacation. I want the gift when we get there.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So, love,
Mm-hmm.
tell us about Power 52. When can people get in? What's the deal with Power 52?
Yes. So, as some of you know, and some of you may not know, we provide training. It's a 16-week course, 80% right now online, 20% in person. Um, it's at no cost. It is not free. It's at no cost. And we provide wraparound services. Our next class starts February 27th. And we are taking applications. So go to power52.org/training, fill out that information, and someone will give you a call. And we will get you enrolled for our program. But not only do we do the training, as you guys are aware, we also do community outreach. And once again, we have our upcoming pull up and pick up event. As you can see, those are some pictures from last year. We have fun. We giving out food, turkeys, chicken. Everything will be there. It will be so much fun. So if you want to volunteer, please, like PJ said, contact him at pj@power52.org or give us a call at the office at 410-777-9677. If you know a family in need of food, please forward this flyer to them to make sure that they can attend. And if you can't volunteer, you have no one to spread it to, you can still sponsor a family with
Yeah.
our different ways to support, right? Send that to our Cash App, our PayPal, our Givelify, our Zelle. Like I said, all your proceeds go to help push our mission. So you can do that or shop our swag. And so you can look like us, wear our t-shirts or our hats. So yeah, please go to our website and do that as well.
So before we get out of here, we're going to take some pictures because we're in the booth.
Okay.
Yes, we are. So I'm going to count to 3. I do this every.
Let's do 3 on 3. Or did
Okay.
we do 4? Okay.
Right. Yeah,
3
3.
on
We're going to do 3 on 3. So 1, 2, 3, pose. 1, 2, 3, pose.
Oh, what am I supposed to do? Like this or something? Oh, no.
Whatever you want, but you got to pose because you got to stand still. For 2
Okay.
All right, and last one. 1, 2, 3, pose.
I'm together.
All right. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody, get that book. And just remember, life is short. So remember to forgive quickly, love truly, and kiss the community with your gifts. See you next time.
See you.